Well, it's the next day. So I've made my hole here that I'm going to go up and crawl into this area. These joists or rafters, what do you want to call them, that are at the very top of the stairwell that support the window on the top of it. It has these sides on there. This is the area I'm going to climb into, get some insulation in there. But first I'll have to clean it out. I'm not going to do that in this video. That'll probably be the next video that I'll clean this all out and start laying down insulation in there. I'm also going to try to insulate the sides of the window as much as I can. Put a vapor barrier down, make kind of a wooden frame around it so that I can wire in some rockwool, hold it back like that. So anyways, that's a whole nother video that we'll get to soon. But for now, what I'm going to do is continue on cleaning this side and get some insulation down. I'm probably going to put the full amount of insulation in here on this run, because I've only got one hole to make through this middle of the room up in the ceiling for a light. That's it. So it should be okay to roll it back and climb in there and drill a hole down or drill a hole up or whatever, and good enough to get that. Anyway, so let's get to it. Let's get cleaning up. See if we can get things warmed up, because the weather has turned. It's about 5 right now. It is absolutely freezing up here. So that's why I got my old ratty jacket on. And anyway, let's get to it. It's a lot better on this side, I'll tell you that. That other little section over there was just absolutely killing me. But yeah, make some quick progress here. Well, I've got a bit of a dog's breakfast sitting here. That insulation they had rolled out that way is all kind of torn up and stuff, but I'm going to see if I can salvage it, try to cut it in half, and then I can get 2 sections of insulation and then start rolling it in between these rafters, and then I can always bring up some new stuff. But for now, I'll see if I can salvage this stuff, and then hopefully today I can get all the in-betweens done, and then I can start rolling out the 200 mil on top of here, and at least up to this section, so that I have some access to get into that around the top of the stairs and around that window up there for tomorrow. And then I'll try to get onto that tomorrow. See how we do. Well, good morning. I kind of gave up yesterday. It was getting too cold and I was getting too tired. My back was aching, so I decided to stop. And I also got really kind of frustrated. When the roofers put the insulation in, I don't know, I guess, I gave them instructions. All I wanted them to do is put it between the joists on the far side behind that beam. That's just the part I couldn't reach. Wouldn't be a big job for me to do. They'd have to cut it, I know. I gave them my little cutting knife or whatever it is for insulation. They didn't use it. They just laid it out. Looks like they started cutting it and they got bored. And I guess they probably didn't know there were trapdoors in each thing, so they just ignored it. And, they've done, they've just shredded all the insulation. It's pretty much useless. So I'm kind of using it for, it's not useless, but it just, you should have that paper on the bottom to stop moisture coming up. Now, we're such a dry climate, it's not really going to do anything. This is a vented attic. It's going to be fine. There's not really much for it to rot or anything like that. But because it's not plasterboard or anything and it's actual tile, it's probably much more difficult for the moisture to get through. But still, it's just we paid extra. We asked them, they do say, yeah, sure, this is the price. Okay, no problem. And then you find out that they've not done a good job. It's a bit disappointing. They've done otherwise pretty good. But yeah, I think what I should have done is just said, hey, can you give me an hour at the end of the night or at some point in the day when you go for lunch, and I'll jump in and just fill it in myself. It would have been done, because it would take me that far side there to cut that, not even an hour, maybe half an hour to cut those pieces and just jam them in, especially if you're just going down from the top. Anyways, so that's my frustration for yesterday. I thought, let's just stop. I've got more work to do anyways, so not hurt my back anymore. But yeah, so I'm going to take this stuff here, what's left of it, what I can salvage, and I'm going to put it in all the small cracks around the edges and things, do what I can. And then what I'm going to do for where they've laid the insulation across at the back is I'm going to use like a sticker or like piece of wood here, lift it up, and then try to slide underneath fresh insulation that I've cut, and hopefully I can get most of it there so it almost has a double layer. The whole idea is you don't want to have insulation blocking the top of the roof. You want to have the airflow. You can see at the top of the rafters over there, the airflow will blow up and through it and keep it dry in here, basically. So at the top of the peak of the roof, there is a gap, and they have the membrane over it, but there's like, I don't know, 2-3 inch gap where the wood doesn't connect, this OSB doesn't connect it, and that's how it vents out. And then the tiles are all leaky anyways, the way that they make them. So anyways, that's my goal for today. See if I can finish insulating this, and then I may put on the harness and attempt to go up in the space above the stairwell, which is a bit scary, but I keep looking at it. It should be fine. There's like, looks pretty solid. Everything I've jiggled and jaggled around up there, like the wood beams and things, it seems very solid. So I'm not too worried, but I've also got to figure out how to get down into a section at one of the ends, which is above the cupboard in the hallway, at the back side, the back wall of the stairwell with his cupboards. And I got to figure out how I might have to make like a rope ladder or something. I'm not sure yet. How am I going to get down there? And how am I going to be able to insulate that side wall? Because there's no point insulating the top if the whole side is just open. Anyways, let's get back to work. Let's finish at least insulating in here today. Well, maybe not right near the door and where I'm going to access that hole that I cut out to get into above the stairs. But otherwise, let's see if we can get as maximum insulation here as we can today. Anyways, let's get to it. Alrighty, well, I have the first layer of 100 mil of insulation down, rockwool. It's did pretty well. I managed to save quite a lot of it. There's a little bit of scraps kind of wasted. Next up, I'm going to bring up some rolls of 200 mil, and that's going to lay on top the other direction. When you're doing this kind of insulation, you should never really cover the pipe or the electrical wires. They should always go on top. But all of these wires are going to get cut out. So far, there's only like this one here and one over there. As no one's using this bedroom right now, and they probably won't be for quite a while, I'm not worried about it. But what I will eventually do is I'll cut them, these wires off, and then try to remove just to tidy up a bit. But yeah, should be fine. The idea behind it is that you never want to have the wires, in case they get warm, get warmer and warmer and warmer because of the insulation. But yeah, we're never using this room for now anyway, so at least until I get going on the electrical, which is going to be shortly, we'll just unroll, and I'll tuck it in as much as I can, close to the edge as I can with the 200, and hopefully we should be very easy because you're just basically going to unroll it. I don't have to cut as much, so fingers crossed. Let's see how it goes. Whew. Well, that's going to do it for today. I got all the 200 down in here. Got a little patch around me right here on the door, the hatch down, that I'm going to do later, because I'm going to be passing a lot of debris and stuff out of that top of the stair things, which is what's on the next on the list. So see you then.